Hey, it's me, Renee. I'm back, and today I have another installment in life in a bookstore for you. This I think is my fourth, fifth, something around that. Anyway, and yeah, also in case you didn't know, I work in a bookstore, and working in a bookstore, you experience things. I've seen other people on BookTube do things like stupid things people do say in bookstores. And I don't know, they do say a lot of stupid things, but I tend often to do like a mix of good anecdotes and bad anecdotes. So it's not just like a nagging on the customers. It's also like sunshine stories as well. So it's a mix. But yeah, and also today, I haven't really uh, what's the word again? Planned this video as I don't really do often. But yeah, I don't really think this is gonna be a long video, but not sure. Yeah, and I think I'll just gonna start with the bad or one bad thing, then kind of yeah. Okay, so what often happens is people come in, they walk to the store, and they ask, "Hey, do you have wrapping paper?" And I'm like, and I'm, yes, there. And especially now with Christmas, we have lots because we have wrapping paper all year round because to wrapping presents. But now we have much more because of Christmas presents. So I like show a customer, yeah, just by the desk, by the counter, and by the opening entrance, and everywhere really. And then they turn to me and say, no, can you wrap it? And I say, of course, yes. What I do think is like, yeah, you asked if we have wrapping paper. That's something else than asking me to wrap it. Let's, yeah, I mean, and you won't believe when people do it. So many people say like, "Do you have wrapping paper?" When I mean, can you wrap it up? I mean, it's much more logical. Like, if you'd ask for, I don't know, I can't really come with a good example. Like, but if you ask for something else that we don't have in the store, fine. But like you ask, do you have like you usually when people come to stores and say, do you have this? Do you have that? They usually want to buy it. Like if you go to a I don't know shoe store, you wouldn't say, do you have shoelaces? And then they say yes, and then you say, well, can you wrap it? Can you include it? Like no, I mean usually it's something you need to buy. So yeah. I mean, I suppose I'm kind of used to it now because, yeah, it's a lot of people who do that. But at the same time, it kind of gets like when you have long days, or like when I have yeah, lots of customers, and then all of them do the same stupid comment or questions like, please, can people just grow? Like, can people just start thinking about what they're asking, what they're saying? Because yeah, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's a bit of little annoying thing that's yeah happens often. And then you have also have like the other side of one other side of not the other side, but one other side of working in a bookstore. I was about to say living in a bookstore. I don't live there. But yeah, working in a bookstore is when you have people who come, they ask for recommendations, and they like sometimes people ask, "Do you have any good fantasy books?" And I'm like, why? Yes, I do. And then I just kind of put on, no, just, I'm just in my element and I just smile and I asked, what have you read? What kind of fancy do you want? Do you want anything new or old? And yeah, and just kind of show them our fantasy section. And it's, yeah, lovely. And then I usually kind of recommend them, I often end up recommending like 5, 6 books. And I say, like, okay, yeah, sorry, I'm going a bit overboard. Okay, so is these 3 titles is like their best, and then when they kind of see my enthusiasm, and then say like, okay, yeah, that book and that book sounds good. I'm gonna try them, and then they buy them, and yeah, it's just so fun when the customer wants something that you yourself know something about, and when they're so very positive to it, and yeah, I love that. I love it so much. Another thing that's, well, this is not neither here nor there, but like when sometimes, often people come in, they might be aunts, they might be great grandparents, or yeah, what have you, and they're going to buy presents. They're going to buy a book. They know that this person they're buying book for, 9 or 10 year old or something like that. They know that they want a book, that they like books, and then you ask them, well, what have they read? And then I say, no, I don't really know what they really like to read or have read. I'm sorry. So that's kind of like, okay, but there's a lot of books for people in any age. But yeah, like, it's a bit difficult. But what I usually end up doing, I end up just kind of choosing one of my own favorites. And then, of course, I can just say, like, and if the book uh, isn't to the taste of the person, you can just return it. And then, yeah, that's kind of nice when I just kind of take my advice and they're happy. I've had some encounters in the past where people come in and ask uh, for tips to book tips because they're giving a present. And then I ask them, well, okay, what have the person read? I don't know. Or do the person have a wish list? I don't know. Um, do the person want a long book, short book? They don't know. Like, they don't know anything. And then I kind of end up picking a book from different genres and stuff like that, and say like, this is a very good book because of blah blah. This is very good because of blah blah. This is a very good book because of blah blah. And I'm just like giving it my best. And then the customer is like, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. It's just being very undecisive. And then I walk out without buying anything. That's kind of like, yeah. What did you expect? Do you expect me to kind of like be a telepath? Like, if you don't know what the person you're giving a present to wants, how should I know what they want to read? I mean, I'm not magical. Like, how am I suddenly supposed to like know this book? In case, like, unless I know the person or I have some information about them, I can't know stuff like that. So yeah. Because like some people seem to think that bookstore people are magical, and I suppose in some ways we are, but yeah, spoiler alert, we can't read minds. We can't. We need information like everyone else. And yeah. And then another anecdote from just a few weeks ago. So it's December now, so of course we just had Black Friday. Yes, even in Norway, Black Friday happens everywhere. And so we had sale the whole week. So instead of having sale that's Black Friday after Friday, we had sale the whole week. We had like sale on books. Sometimes we had sale on board games and stuff, but that week we had sale on books. I think it was 40% off or something like that. But yeah, anyway, a sale. And then one day when I was working that week, there was there you had this family who came in. It was the mom and then two kids, and you can kind of saw that when the one kid was kind of more into the books, and he was just kind of walking around looking for like books for his age, and he just walked a bit around, and then I kind of, as I do that, kind of asked, "Do you need help?" And he kind of said, "No, yeah, I'm looking, yeah," and then yeah, he just kind of randomly said, "I really like Rick Riordan," and then I said, "Yeah, he's a very good author," and then have you tried this series and this series? And said like, no, I haven't done that series yet. I kind of wanted that book. And I said, well, we could order it for you. And I said, yeah, maybe. And then I end up kind of talking a bit to him like, yeah, well, we have other books like Rick Riordan-ish. And then I talked about other books we have. And I said, yeah, okay, that book sounds good. That book sounds good. I have very much enjoyed the mythological aspects of Rick Riordan. And I said, well, at the moment we just have Rick Riordan mythological books, but soon we're getting books into the store because I know we had ordered in the books. Arusha, which is a book series around mythological, around Indian mythological, Indian myths. And this kid, like I had already asked him, so I already knew he was 9, and he just looked up at me. And it's like this funniest looks. He's like, there's myths in India. And I suppose you could think of this two ways. You could think, A, he's an ignorant Norwegian who doesn't really know that myths are everywhere. And also, like, if he'd already read Rick Riordan, and Rick Riordan has Norse myths, yeah, but he started with Roman and Greek, and Roman and Greek aren't really native to Norway. Like, our myths are Norse myths. So, like, by default, he should already know that, like, there's more myths than the Norse myths. You have Greek myths and the Roman myths and what have you. But yeah, or if as like I kind of like to think about it is I kind of like to think more of it as like him, like being so flabbergasted, but just so wow. There's myths in India. He had that very he had like a very happy look at it, like there's myths there as well. Like he kind of thought like, oh, cool. So like, and that's kind of also how I interpreted. Like he was more like, oh, there's myths there. Like there's cool myths to read from India. So he was, yeah, just so positive and so optimistic and just so like, wow. He was over the moon. Like there's myths in India. It's kind of weird. Of course, I didn't like what I wanted to do. I kind of wanted to like laugh a bit because, yeah, there's myths everywhere. But like, yeah, you can't laugh at customers, people in general. Well, at least not customers. So what I did, and I'm kind of happy with how I handled it. I said, well, yes, there's myths from everywhere in the world, all around the world. And he said, oh, cool. So yeah, he actually ended up buying buying that bind up of the 3 novellas that's Rick Riordan based. He wrote 3 novellas. Well, probably written more. Well, at least he wrote 3 novellas. With the one where Sadie and Carter Crane meets Percy and Annabeth. So those 3 stories in English. We didn't have it in Norwegian, so we bought them in English. I was like, oh, cool to have see a 9-year-old buy a book in English. Though I live close to kind of like oil capital of Norway, so a lot of people actually around here they might go to the British international school, the American international school. They might have friends who are from United Kingdom or US or everywhere else. Like people also a lot of people I think a lot of like whole world really nowadays they do gaming, so kids kind of know English from very early on. So yeah, he bought that little English book. So yeah, that was just a very fan encounter. I fan encounter. Well, fan. Well, he was a fan. It wasn't me, but he. Yeah, it's just a fun encounter, really. Uh, yeah, I'm already seeing this video has already been a quarter. So yeah, yeah, it's kind of been longer than I thought. But yeah, I have 2 more stories at least. Well, yeah, I'm thinking I'll stop there. But yeah, so then I'm gonna go to the other side again with like the stupid side of customers, which is quite often customers they go directly to the counter where I'm standing by the paying desk counter, yeah, by the counter, and then they ask me, "Hey, do you have Book X or Game X?" And I like take a breath, or just kind of yes, and then it's there, or there, and there, because often they ask about completely new books. It's like, yeah, completely new books. We usually have like both by the counter. We have it on the tables. They might be on top 10 because I mean you have the bestsellers on the wall, so they're pretty much everywhere. So it's like, yes, they're here, there, and there. So yeah. I suppose I kind of get like people just come and go to the counter and ask if we have stuff because it might in a way be easier, like if they don't have a lot of time, etc., etc. But like I think that's kind of better. Like if you're asking for an older book, if you're asking for a newer book usually are in a lot of places in the store. Yeah, I mean, it's not that difficult to use your eyes and look and find them. At least, like, I've done that sometimes when I like ask people in stores for item X, and then they say like, yes, there or there, or yes, it's here and there, and I kind of think like, oh yes, it's a new thing. So I kind of stopped that because like, why would you ask for a thing that's kind of right in front of you? Like that's a thing, a product that's everywhere. It kind of I don't know. In my head, it's kind of stupid, really. And I suppose in a way, it's fine if it's like with if there's no customers or no queue. But like now around Christmas, people still do that, and it's like, yes, this and this place, but like there's often a lot of people around Christmas because they have to buy Christmas presents. So it's like I don't really have time for your nonsense person questions. Could you take a look yourself, please? I mean, like I usually end up going and fetching the book from the table in some place, and then that takes a few seconds that could have been used on a different customer, making the queue shorter. So yeah, yeah, and then we are gonna end on a happy note. Started crappy and then end happy. So I just had just had a shift. I This is thing actually annoying. We're like, where usually we don't actually have stores open on Sundays, except like in tourism places. But like most stores aren't open on Sundays, except in December, because in December you need all the days to use to buy stuff. Because if you just have 6 days of the week, that's not enough time to buy all the Christmas gifts. Yeah, but I mean, I'm happy. I mean, more money for me, more working for me, no problem. I love working in a bookstore. I generally do. And yeah, so I worked yesterday, and quite a lot of people came to the store. And then at 5 o'clock, we were just open 4 hours on Sundays. But yeah, 5 o'clock, just kind of 1 hour before closed, became I'm not really sure. She could have been 17. She could have been 25. She looked youngish. I didn't ask how old she was. She asked where the English books were, where the English books are, because of course I live in Norway, so we don't have English books everywhere, but we have some English books in the bookstore. And so I showed her that we just moved the English books. We used to have 4 smaller shelves, and now we have moved them to a wall. So we have 3 shelves now, but they're 3 longer shelves. So we actually have more room, and we kind of talked about, and she kind of looked like, oh, well, there's so many cool books, and oh, I just bought so many books, I shouldn't buy anything, but I kind of want to see, and yeah, and then she kind of said, "Yeah, I'm quite happy I didn't buy that much on Black Friday sale." And I say, "Oh, good for you," because I mean, being book lovers, you can easily use too much on sales and just too much on books all the time because it's difficult to stop. Uh, and yeah, and then she said, and then she found a book like, oh, is it this cheap? Is it that price? I said, yeah. Is it? Yeah, it is. And she was just so happy for the bargain, and she bought it and was just asking like, yeah, there's going to be like more cool English books soon. And I was like, yes, there are, because I just got a new boss, and a new boss likes English books. The older one didn't really, so we kind of trying to have more English books now than we used to have. And yeah, so yeah, I think that's probably going to be a repeat customer. I'm thinking also she might be like a person who come in before because she wasn't completely new to the store. But yeah, and yeah, that's my little anecdotes for today. I hope you like this little fun little insight into life in a bookstore. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.